In this episode of Left Off the Map, we're spending a little bit of time with someone who knows this island better than most. Will Hodgman in his past life was the Premier and Tourism Minister of Tasmania. We caught up with him during his last few months on the job and toured around his electorate of Huon, just outside the capital of Hobart. One of the highlights of this trip was meeting Misaki, who was a surfing sushi chef. And he showed us how to make these little sashimi or Japanese crepes. And I'm going to show you how to make them now. So I've taken the skin off and now I've taken that belly flap off. So this is the bit that normally you would use to create a tartare. So slice this into our little battens so that we can dice it. Because it's got that really beautiful those really nice layers of fat through it, it's got a really nice mouthfeel. And because it's already nice and thin, it makes it easy to dice and get that shape or that texture that we want from tartare. We used a filleting knife to take the skin off, so a knife with a little bit of bend or give in it, because it is, once you get down to the belly, there isn't a huge amount of meat there, and because the meat is quite delicate, you need to try and get as much of it off as you can. You'll see Misaki does it a little bit differently. He uses rice and makes a bit of a cone out of it. It's almost like an ice cream cone that's filled with rice, the salmon, avocado, and all those sorts of things. I'm going to make almost like a little wafer. So I'm going to use the nori as almost like a cracker. I want to toast my nori first, so I need some heat. And toasted nori it gives you a different texture, so it helps cook it, but also it gives you a completely different flavour. So just run it over really, really quickly. You don't want it to catch. You just want it to heat. And it will become a little bit more brittle and not as chewy. So now we've got nori that's not going to be chewy like the outside of a piece of sushi is, but it's going to be nice and brittle and crunchy. To go with our salmon, I want to make up a little mixture. Avocado, we know avocado goes perfectly with salmon, so I'm going to use some avocado. Dice this. And what you put on this little cracker, on this little nori cracker, is completely up to you. I've got a really basic combination of things that I know work. So I've got Kewpie mayonnaise, which again, we know goes perfectly well. Actually, I might not dice this, I might leave it in slices. Some miso and salmon is a great combination, and lime, chili and chives. So flavours that go really, really well. And then just use a dessert spoon to hollow it out and you'll come out with some nice slices. Like so. I'll get rid of this piece, sit that there. Now, my chili, I'm going to cut this into some rounds. If you don't like hot things, then cut this in half and de-seed it. I like hot things, so I'm just going to cut it into rounds. So, add some chives, do the same. About a quarter of a bunch of chives. We've got pretty much all of our mixture to go on top. So I'm going to pop this into a bowl. Now, if you were dicing your avocado, this is where your avocado would go in the bowl as well. But I'm just going to use mine a little bit differently. Juice of half a lime. Now this is slightly going to cure the salmon. We don't need a lot. The acid will start cooking or curing our salmon. A little bit of Kewpie. About whatever you're using Kewpie, you want about half the amount of miso. And then mix all that together. It's definitely, even though you've got miso in there, it's still going to need a pinch of salt. Miso is salty, but it's a very different sort of salt. So we've got that done. That's our mixture basically done. So now it's time to get our wafer ready. Scissors are much easier than trying to cut your toasted nori. Place your nori in the bowl, fan out a couple of pieces of avocado, and then spoon your salmon mixture on top. Once you've got all that in there, there are a couple of different ways you can eat it, and I'll show you. So that's that one done. Now, I said there's a few different ways you can eat it. I'll show you the way I eat it. So we'll go through the same thing. Fan a couple of pieces of avocado on. It lends itself perfectly to just being eaten like a taco. Salmon on top of your nori and your avocado. And then 2 points together, like that, just like you would a taco. And eat it like a taco. It's a combination of flavours you know are going to go well together. You can add as many other things as you want, but as a classic sort of salmon sushi dish, this is perfect. Not quite as good as what we're about to see now from Masaki. Sushi master Masaki Koyama moved here from Japan after falling in love with his Tasmanian-born English teacher, Lucy. After the pair relocated to Tasmania, Masaki opened a sushi restaurant to fund his love of surfing. He has since become renowned as the best sushi master in Tasmania. We've got the awesome opportunity to meet Masaki and have our very own special sushi masterclass. Masaki,
Hello.
how are you?
Hi. Hi, Will. Hi. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
So we are making sushi today.
Will actually asked me just then, what's the difference between normal rice and sushi rice?
Oh, okay. So normal rice is just steamed rice, as you know. So
Yeah.
nothing seasoned. So, but this one, it's sushi rice. It's seasoned with vinegar and a little bit of salt and sugar.
Yep.
Yep. So well balanced. So a little bit of sweet and a little bit of saltiness. Also, of course, vinegar makes you hungry. So we are making crayfish temaki hanzo.
Wow, the good stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah. So there's a cooked crayfish here. It's meat. Well, maybe can I ask you to start grating wasabi?
Sure.
Yeah?
I've never done that before.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm sure it's like
easy. So basically, from the top side,
Yeah.
so basically like that.
in a circle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, please.
So easy.
Okay. We have a seaweed here. Okay. And then, so basically, wet your hand first, and then just grab rice about this much. Then spread the rice like this. And then, up to you from here, just use the carrot, beetroot. Okay. I might go a little bit of lettuce, like this.
Yep.
And then some crab meat. And then some wasabi. And then maybe a little bit of mayo.
This
Kewpie mayo? Yes.
Japanese mayonnaise.
Right.
Japanese mayonnaise. Then, just like this.
Easy as that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So you go that one.
Okay, yeah. I'll do the tasting, you do the
Yeah.
making.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah. So
Beautiful.
maybe wasabi hits your sinus, but disappears quickly. So,
So far, so good. Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
It's not overpowering at
Nope.
all. Mm.
Good.
And
How long
it's-
have you been in Tassie?
14 years,
14
something
years?
like that. Yep.
And what do you love about it?
Oh, everything. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's such a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's so amazing. Such a beautiful place.
How many days do you spend making sushi? How many days do you spend surfing?
At the moment, we are making a new restaurant. So,
okay.
so I was running a little shop in Jeeveston
Jeeveston?
last 10 years.
Yep.
And so now became so busy.
Yeah.
So I just, also same time we had a really bad bushfire.
Yeah.
So same time we had to close the shop. And then, but we were planning to make a new shop.
Yeah.
in Jeeveston.
Yeah.
So it's happening now. So we started the actual building work last week.
Oh, great.
Right.
Yeah, so hoping open again next year.
The little shop in Jeeveston has such a fantastic reputation.
Yeah.
Everyone I talk to always talks about this little sushi shop in Jeeveston, and you've got to go there. It's like on people's bucket list when they come to Tasmania.
See why?
I reckon we should make the Premier make one.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so a little bowl,
Yep, with hand, yep.
squish tight.
Yeah, just a tiny, it's more like a, keep it, yeah.
Bit more?
So, yeah.
Why is it sticking to my hand, not yours?
I think if you are doing long time, becomes like a sushi hand, so it doesn't stick.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, that's how
It
it
is.
is. Yeah.
How am I going to get this off me? Let me just take this, otherwise I'm going to end up...
You don't
I need a
have
sushi hand.
Yeah,
No.
it's normal. It's always
Is it?
very sticky first.
How long does it take to get a sushi hand?
I don't know, maybe 20 years or something.
How can I get all this off me? Eat it.
I got a bottle of water.
Beautiful.
Yeah, maybe just yeah.
See if you've got a sushi hand.
I didn't know sushi hand was a
Sushi
thing.
hand, yeah.
Yeah,
just
it is a
that.
real thing.
So just so basically just wet the hand evenly.
Yeah.
It will become kind of easy to handle. That's good.
Look at that.
Very
Oh,
nice.
There you go. Give that a try. Yeah, well done.
That's
They're
a-
so moist, aren't they?
Oh.
That's the beauty. Is it the...
Yeah, it's a moist. Yeah,
The
it's
rice,
freshly
it's
cooked. Yep.
You don't have to go through the whole bamboo mat and everything. It's heaps easier.
Yeah, much better.
It's easier. Yep.
I could make those at home.
That's
We
right.
could make those at home. Premier.
You've converted me. I've never been a huge fan, but beautiful.
That's beautiful. That was a pretty good way to end a pretty good day.
It was magnificent.
I
No
always
worries.
love where at the end of the day I learn something that I can take home and do with the family.
Yeah, kids would love that.
Definitely be doing that.
Yep.
Thank you, Masaki.
No worries.
It's wonderful.
Thanks for having me today.
Arigato.
どういたしまして。Thank you.
Thank you. Well, it's Tuesday again, which means Taco Tuesday. And today we're doing something that's similar to a taco. It's a quesadilla. So quesadilla is basically a cheese sandwich. It's Mexico's version of a cheese toastie. So queso means cheese in Mexico. So we're going to create a mix that's got cheese in it so everything sticks together like it would in a normal cheese toastie. And instead of using bread, we're going to use our tortillas. We're using the mini gluten-free Old El Paso tortillas. So this is a great gluten-free recipe. Let's get our mix made. So cheese first. This is a mozzarella. Normally they would use Oaxacan cheese in Mexico, which is fairly similar to mozzarella. So I've got a grated mozzarella cheese. Then what you put into it is really up to you. Spring onions. I want a handful of those chopped. Popped in with our cheese. Some corn. Pop our corn kernels in. Corn and seafood is a really good combination. Sweetness, especially fresh corn like that. My chili, tomato, and avocado will go in. I'm just gonna chop chili rounds. If you don't like heat, then start from the bottom. Use the tip of the chili and work your way up. Stop there. Just use those rounds. I'm going to de-seed and dice this tomato. So top and tail it, turn it on its side and just cut in. So as you sort of roll it out like that, you'll get rid of all the seeds. And then we can dice that. Pop that in. So that bit there, which is when you take off the top and the tail, it's the tail, you can dice that as well. Run your knife through that, pop that in. So far we're building up some nice fresh flavours. With our corn, spring onion, a tomato, avocado, all those great Mexican flavours that we love. I'm going to add a little bit of old El Paso seasoning to it. I'm using the guacamole seasoning. Love the spice mix that's in there, and we are using avocado. So dice it in the skin, just running your knife long ways and then across. And then get yourself a spoon and just scoop that dice pattern out and into your bowl. That's the easiest way to dice avocado and not make an absolute mess everywhere. Okay, my crayfish. I'll use about 1/4 of a tail. Run your knife through it, then back through it the other way. Pop that in. This is where you would use seafood extender. Now, palm sugar, a little bit of sweetness. Grate some, you don't need a lot. Grate a little bit of palm sugar, pop that in. Following that, I'll need some salt. I'm not going to use garlic. In here, I've got most of my seasonings that I want. So I'm going to use a couple of teaspoons of this guacamole mix. Which has got all the spices that I want. With that, because it is it's a watery mixture. So this is going to help take care of that. Now this is where I'm going to add my lime juice. I want enough lime juice, obviously so you can taste it, but also so that it starts to stick together. Time to make our quesadilla. So we'll open this up. Put one down. Put your mixture on top. And the heat that's coming up through the tortilla and the pan is going to melt the cheese. Everything will stick together nicely. And that's why you want some sort of, they would use Oaxacan cheese in Mexico, some sort of mozzarella type cheese so it's nice and stringy. So you get that effect when you're eating it. Just like with a pizza or a toasty. All right, so fill it out to the edge, about 1 centimetre away from the edge. You don't want it to be too hot. You'll end up burning your tortilla before the cheese melts. Turn that down. Our other tortilla on top. All right, so now it's just time to wait for our cheese to melt and for our tortilla to get nice and golden, and then we're going to flip it. Now obviously flipping it's the hard bit. The best thing I can advise you to do, get another pan. It's about the same size. I've got another matching pan and flip it that way. So a pan that's similar size and just flip it back and forth into each pan. That's the easiest way to do it. After saying that it's much easier flipping the pans and trying to turn it, I had a little bit of a fumble. And what I found was that you need a pan that will fit neatly inside the other pan. That is just about done, I reckon. You can turn that off. Slide it onto my board. Alrighty, so cut him in half. Just like you would a normal toasty. Do it quickly, so it's a fast movement, otherwise you're going to squash everything out of the way. And then I'd go quarters nice and fast, so you get a clean cut. And there's your quesadillas. Another way you can do them, I'll show you once I get these ones on here, I'll show you another little trick. So if you do have a pan like that, you can actually fill, almost like a crepe, you can pop it in, fill half of your tortilla, and then fold it over, and it kind of makes it easier to flip around that way. So to finish off Taco Tuesday, give this one a go. I know it's not a taco, but it is still fantastic Mexican food that you can have at home.